record? Okay, now it's off.
Thank you.
We're good. Yeah, just.
My iPad's dying.
Oh no. So what we're gonna do now is we have the record, and then right next to that is toggle multi-camera on and off right here. We're gonna drag that down. So we need to have that. We need to have that going as the for multicam. That's you have to turn that on. Then we say okay. Now, let's see. Let's do save. Command S. So I'm going to keep working on creating now my complete workspace. So to do that, I'm not going to use source. So I'm going to make that really small. Just like this. Drag to the left. And then I'm going to come back over here. Actually, not yet. I'm going to start to make my multicam project itself. So I'm going to open up this folder. Give it a second because it's, here we go. All right, so these are the 3 files that I'm gonna be using for my multicam. If we notice, the numbers are pretty close, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 14 minutes. So we see that one's a little bit longer than the others. What's gonna be key to this particular project is determining which one's my main, camera. In other words, which camera has my best audio, or what's going to be my A camera, my hero camera. For this particular project, I'm going to use this one on the left. That's going to be my main camera. When you guys do your projects, I would recommend choosing the camera that's also situated kind of in the middle, just off to the left. Don't use the handheld, and don't use the one on the right. It's going to be pretty much in the same location, a little bit more to the left. And there's going to be one that's a little bit more to the right. Do you guys see how this one's more to the left and that one's more to the right? Mm-hmm. Right? This was shot on an Icon. The colors aren't as good. It's lower quality. So that's why we don't want that to be the main one. So it's very important because the first camera you choose with multicam is going to be the reference for the audio. All right, in this case, we're going to use this as our audio reference. So I select this one first. I hold down Shift and I click my last one. Just like this. So I have 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to right click, and then we're going to do create multi-camera source sequence. Very important. Create multi-camera source sequence.
So select
Right here.
all, then hit create multi-camera source sequence.
Here we go. Bam. Now it's going to give me a name called multicam. It's the sequence. That's fine. I'm going to call it multicam ofrendas. You guys are going to be working on the project called Venado, so I would recommend a name like Venado or even your name. Your name's going to be fine. Synchronizing points. This is very important because now we're talking about how do we sync up the files? How do the files know that they are on the same point? We do that using audio. You can see that you can set an in point on each of these video clips, an out point. You can use time code. Sound time code, so that's your marker. We're just going to use audio. The beauty of this is that Premiere is going to read the waveforms. And it's going to look at all the files and go like, oh, they all have the same waveform, therefore I'm going to line them up. That's what we're doing. One thing that we noticed when we were doing this last time is one of the audio channels was having a problem, or it was corrupt something, so we had to choose mixdown. So keep that in mind. On track channel, you may have to do that.
What's
Okay.
mixed down?
It just mixes the audio, it mixes them all together.
Oh, okay. That was just one cohesive, just one audio track.
Yeah, that's all it's doing. Just one track. After that, let me see. We don't have to do anything else. Leave it at automatic. Audio, camera 1 is the sequence setting. Preset, automatic is fine. And camera names is fine. So that's all we need to do. The big key is to do audio and then mix down, then we choose OK. It's processing the audio, it's reading all the files. This might take a minute when it's doing the processing. This is where, whenever you're doing this kind of work, it might take a while. If you do like a big show or you do an event like a wedding or something, just keep that in mind that
This is the part.
you might be waiting a while if it's like an hour, because it's going to go through it all and mix it up. And it did it right, and here it is. So this is what we're looking for. It's going to create one file called the multicam thing here. Look at that icon. That's an icon that we haven't seen yet, right? That's a new one. That's a symbol for the multicam clip. Okay, that's a symbol for multicam clip right here.
That's a symbol for multi-cam clip.
Yeah, the source sequence itself.
Okay.
Now this is referencing all the video in here. See, there's all the video. Leave the video where it's at. Don't move anything. Leave it all in here. Because that's where it needs to know where the files are. The next thing we do is we're almost there. We are now going to create a sequence from this particular clip, because this is just the clip right here. So what I got to do is do right click and then choose sequence from clip. And there we go. New sequence from clip. And now we have our sequence over here. But notice we're not seeing anything yet. Okay, we're all good?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna go over here. We added the button. We're gonna toggle the multi-camera view. We're gonna turn that on. Boom. There we go, turned on.
And it's called the what?
Multi-cam view. I just said it.
I couldn't zoom in time when you said it.
Right
I was
here,
like,
multi-cam view.
okay.
So we turn that on, and it's blue. Notice that we have, it's really long over here. We have 3 clips, and then we have our main clip right here. That's actually what's going on. It doesn't look like we see anything, and there's a reason. It's what I mentioned earlier. Remember, one of the clips is 14 minutes and the other 2 are 10 minutes. That means it's lined them up on the back end. So the middle stuff is all lined up, which means if you have something at the beginning, if it doesn't have footage, it's going to be all blank. So we need to move forward a little bit. I'm going to move my clip forward. We need to move forward, like, we need to go at least 4 minutes, right? Because it's 14 versus 10, so we have to erase 4 minutes right here. And there we go. See, look, we can even see no audio, audio. So that's a nice clue. And then look at that. Once I start bringing this in, see, now I'm starting to see the rest of the content. Still not there yet. There we go. There we go. Now we have all 3 cameras. It took almost 4 minutes to do that.
Okay.
So we only have 3 clips, so we don't have 4. That's why it's empty. No other reason than we are using 3 clips, not 4. That's it. So what I'm going to do before I even start any super editing, I just want to make sure that I'm not going to use any of the footage over here at all. So I'm going to cut all that out. I'm going to use the blade tool, razor tool, and I'm just going to cut here. And then go back to my point, select this, and delete it. I don't need any of that. Ripple delete. Okay, now we go home. All right, now we are in, just to show you guys, I'm gonna hit save. Now we are in multicam mode. Notice, see we have this guy, this guy. This is all synchronized now. So now it's like you're a switchboard controller on a TV set. And now you can pick and choose your camera angle.
Yay!
So we hit save. All right, so that's how we set it up. Notice, see, source is gone. Multicam all lives under program. Now, we may or may not get done doing all of our editing in one day. So what we want to do is create one of these, a workspace for multicam editing, so that we don't have to rebuild this every time. Since we have this set up the way we want it already, let's go to Window, Workspace, number 1, and then scroll down till we get to this. Save as new workspace. Save as new workspace. Window, follow the blue, right? Window, Workspace, save as new workspace.
Okay.
Ooh, you've got a pencil and an
She got
iPad?
the sexy one.
Mhm.
Got
Oh.
the pencil and everything.
That's so cool.
New work.
I really do covet that. Is
And
that
don't let me impress you. I got the cheap one. I only got the $40 one.
But it's still got a
$40 what?
pencil.
For
what's $40?
the iPad, the iPencil, it only goes to the 10-inch.
Yeah.
And so I bought the $100 pen, and it didn't. It wasn't compatible with mine because mine was smaller.
That's retarded.
And I was like, oh, so disappointed. And then in that disappointment, I took the pen back
Uh-huh.
and looked for something compatible for mine. $40,
Yeah.
and it works with all of my phones.
Yeah. That's that. Oh, I got to see that because I heard about that one.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
makes sense because like when I
Yeah.
bought styluses like for my Kindle and a bunch of all
Nice.
of our touchscreen stuff at home, I had to look up a universal stylus.
Yeah.
So like I have one that literally will work on my phone, my Kindle, my iPad,
Oh, yeah,
my
like
brother's
all
iPad, everything.
Mhm.
Anything touchscreen it works with.
All right, you guys got this part?
Yeah.
Workspace?
Mm-hmm.
All right, you save as workspace, and then it's asking me what to name it. So here's where I go ahead and put multi-pass. See who's paying attention. Multi-cam.
Let's see, that says cam. Am I blind again?
Yeah. Click OK. Boom. See, now I have multicam up top. See it? So if I click editing, notice when I click editing, it all stayed the same. That's because I modified the editing workspace so I can get multicam. Does that mean I'm gonna have two of these? No, because at any point with editing, I can go to Window, Workspace, and say reset to save layout. So if I do that, bam, it goes back to what it used to be with my source and
Okay.
and everything. See, and this is why we move this small, because it's really, really tiny. But I can always go to multicam just by clicking on it, and there we go, back to what we did.
Lovely.
So that's how you create custom workspaces. You can customize yours however you want, save it as your own workspace, and then it'll always be there, so you can always go back to however you like to work. Save that. All right. Now, we created workspaces. We created, we're in multicam. Let's see what Media Encoder is doing in the background. Are these finished?
Oh, lovely, yes.
Did it finish these already? They should have a little check. Well, I
I
think
don't
so.
think it's done. Is it?
Yeah, they're done. Oh, the proxy's already done. Okay, that was fast. Nice.
I'm getting that computer. when
Yours
it's
is still
on.
copying.
Sorry.
Well, that's why I was like, I'm just gonna do the demo because I knew it would take a while. Close that out. All right, here we go. Now, the beauty is the proxies are done, so we're gonna turn on proxies. Burk. There we go. You guys notice how they all change sizes, right?
No.
They all got. You didn't notice?
Mm-mm.
Off, on.
Now I see it.
Yeah. So those proxies now, everything's gonna run a lot smoother because they went from being 1080 files, the proxy files are 540, so they're standard def. So they're gonna play back a whole lot smoother, all right?
Okay.
Now watch, when I push play, see I can fast forward, rewind, see, look at that. And notice all of them are playing.
Right. Yeah. Then
See how
normally
smooth that
doesn't-
is?
Yeah. Do that.
That is smooth.
That's why we're doing proxies, because without proxies, it's a slideshow, guaranteed.
Oh, it'd be a serious slideshow.
Okay, so we've got our multicam set up. We've got our proxies going. I'm gonna stand up with some sitting down. So now, we're gonna talk about making edit choices. The way that this works, or the way that multicam works, is you just push play, and what you're gonna do is focus on your keyboard. You're gonna look at the numbers 1, 2, and 3 on your keyboard. Not on the right side, not the number pad. The right side's the number pad. You gotta do the numbers above the letters. Okay, numbers above the letters. Because the number pad, it just doesn't work. See, if I push 2, 3, see I push the numbers, they go right in here. Didn't do anything for us. But if I push 2, see 2, 3.
So
One.
it changes the actual.
Yeah, that changes, that's what's changing my angle.
Oh, I did that in high school. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Premiere has support for up to 16 video files. So
At
you can
one
put
time?
16 of them. Yep, as long as you
Wow.
have enough RAM. As long as you have a good, strong video card and enough video memory to do that. So you need a beefy guy. These guys wouldn't be able to do it.
That's about $3,000.
At least. 5 to 10.
Hell, Best Buy, the Best Buy one that we need to get, that's a laptop, is about $4,500.
At least, probably starting, yeah. So let's say that, so the key to this is you don't really stop. You just push play and then you just make edit choices. Okay, so I'm gonna do that now. I push play and I'm gonna push now number 2. Turned red, you notice? It went from yellow to red.
Right?
Okay, now he's done.
It's beautiful. And for
There's
women.
number 3, 2, someone follow those kids. Back to 1. Back to 2, so I can see her face. Back to 1, maybe 3, actually 3 would be good.
So when you press the 1 and 2, is it editing that?
Yeah, so that's what we're doing. That's why it's red. Red shows we're live. And this actually turned on its own when I started editing. See, that's blue. Because that is something we have to do now, depending on the version you guys have. Go back to her. She's pretty cool. Depending on your version, you may have to hit record first and then start editing. Push play here. Okay. The newer version will automatically do that for you. Because I know sometimes I'm like, oh, I forget, but I was like, oh yeah, there it goes. We know it's working though because we'll see the red outline. Okay. Notice I'm not stopping right now. That's why I'm going to talk over it because I'm doing now the live edit. Okay, now the live edit's happening. Let me go to 3. Look at the timeline. Do you see any edits happening?
No.
No, that's right. You're not. You're not going to see anything because those edits will get rendered when you pause. Go to her close-up. See this nice? You just have to do it only one time.
Right. So what's the project?
This,
I said, what's our project?
you're going to be doing El Venado, something different.
So it's just like this, but I.
It's similar. Yeah, it's going to be, it's the same dance group.
Okay.
Yeah. Just pause it. All right, I'll just go ahead and stop it for now. You guys get the idea.
Yeah.
Pause. See? Automatically generated.
Wow.
That is beast.
Save.
I'm multi-counting forever now.
Yeah. Well, that's the advantage of multicam, which is why you see people now, when they shoot, they have 2 cameras. And which is why it's important when you start, that's why we called out every time, cameras rolling, and I pointed, rolling, rolling, rolling. I called everyone rolling. Okay,
That's
good.
where I got that from.
Yeah, everyone's got to roll.
Okay.
I copied you in my shoot.
Good. Steal it. Take it. Please. If you do it, I'm fine with it. And then you call audio, right? You call speed, you call audio, and they respond to you with their callback, speed or rolling.
Audio rolling.
Everything's rolling. As long as everyone's recording, and even when I showed you, we had one that was even 4 minutes before everybody else. As long as you capture the majority of it, you should be okay. Because remember, Premiere is looking at this to create its alignment. Okay, that's how it lines up. It's looking for the waveforms. Okay, now, we did our first edit, which is our first rough cut. Is it going to be perfect?
No.
No, you're going to second guess yourself. Exactly. Or for whatever reason. So now let's talk about fine-tuning your edit. Zoom in. So I zoomed in on my timeline. And let's say though that I was like, here, maybe I'm saying, you know what? I wish I would have cut before she turns, right? Because I don't want to see the camera operator. Maybe I was like, you know what? I want to cut the camera operator out, right? You see him on the right side?
Yeah.
This is actually a perfect example. So we're going to use a new type of a slide tool. So this is called a slide. It's right here. Or is it Ripple? No, it's not Ripple.
Is it slip tool?
Oh, rolling edit. That's what it is.
Rolling edit.
Sorry, it's rolling edit. It's letter N.
Okay, rolling edit.
Okay. And it's going to look like a bar with all those arrows. Rolling edit. So you have to press and hold on your tools. From the Ripple Edit tool, just go to the second one, Rolling Edit.
Okay.
Okay? All right. Now, the way that Rolling Edit works, if you notice when I put it around my edit area, it gives me a negative sign until I get to the edit points. When I get to edit points, as you can see it, then it'll let me select it. So I'm going to click and select. See? So I click, and there it's red.
Okay.
What Rolling Edit does, that's really cool, is it will edit itself to wherever your playhead is. So if I want to cut away from him, it's just going to extend this sequence out. It's not going to add time or take away time. It's just rolls it. Okay, that's why it's called a roll, because it's rolling this way. So let's put the playhead where I want the edit to occur, which is right here. And so with the roll edit, I just drag over. Just like this. Boop. There we go. Edit. And I just moved it over.
And it just cut it out like that?
And it just cut. Yep. Now we look at it. No camera operator.
Oh, that is crazy.
That's a Ripple Edit. So this is the nuance of Premiere. Premiere isn't just cut and trimmed.
Mm-hmm.
No. Remember, we're talking about data. This is all data. So you can do rolls. So you can trim another one by adding more of another clip afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
This is that nuance of Premiere where we get into the nitty gritty and sort of like those tight edit situations. Okay. Now there's another way of doing it, which I like to do. It's the shortcut. If you select it and you put your playhead and you know where it wants to be, if you tap the letter E for edit, see it jump.
Ooh.
And it puts itself right where it needs to be. So those are two ways you do that. You can either roll it, drag it over, or just put your playhead where you want. Make sure you've selected your cut and are in the proper edit feature, and just tap the letter E. And it'll go on its own.
Awesome sauce.
That's it. So that's how we do that fine tune. We don't just want to, when we're looking at these here though, we don't want to just say, oh, I need to make a cut here. You can't just press the number, because if I press the number, I just went from number 3, I said I'm going to go number 1. See, it turned the whole thing to number 1. It didn't put a cut.
Mm-hmm.
It just changed the whole clip.
Mm-hmm.
So now, camera guy's back. See, now it's like I never make that cut.
Right.
The cut's still there, see?
But that got added.
But the clip it's still there. So again, we were on number 3. So let's say I wanted to add, let's not do 3, let's say I want to do number 2. I want to cut into 2 right here,
Okay.
right? I do have to do a combination of keys, and that's going to be Control and then your number. So if I did Control 2, see, now it changed, now it did my cut, and now it did put a cut. So you have to do Control plus the number. So it's very important. That's how you make new cuts when you're not in the multicam mode anymore. When you're not just pushing play and just pushing numbers, when you're going back and fine tuning, you need to do Control plus the number to create new cuts. Okay?
Okay.
Again, a new cut. So if I want to say I want to put a new cut here, Control,
Then the number.
and then the number. Let's do 3. There, Control 3.
And I'll put the new cut where
Or undo that.
After-
Control 1.
the marker is.
Yep. Control 1. There we go. So there's 1. See, 2 still there. Now I'm back to 1, and then it's going to cut to 2. Got it?
Got it.
There are a bunch of little steps, I know, to it, but that in a sense is all you really need to do to get the multicam edit and to get through it all. After this, all of the other aspects of the editing, the trim, adding titles, they all still work the same after that, okay? Everything still works the same afterwards, okay?
Okay.
So, like I said, I'm going to give you the project files for one called El Venado. You can start putting it together and prepping it, and you can use today to edit, or you can do that in the next couple weeks because it's not due for 2 weeks.
Okay.
Okay, so you'll have time, and then and that's what we'll do for when it's due in 2 weeks. Anyways, I'll give you guys time to work it and turn it in.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright.
Don't wait to do it all.
But it's up to
in
us
2
which
weeks.
how we want to.
You can edit it
cut.
however you want.
Okay.
You cut it how you want. You give me titles how you want. You do the rest. You have fun with it.
But like,
Cool.
and at home, I'm gonna be so messed
Just
up.
just set up the multicam and just let me see it, and that's it. And then you can edit it however you want.
I'm gonna redo an old project and do like a multi-cam.
Well, I'll give you the files. I'll give you these files.
Nice.
Well, I'm gonna give you files that I know are technically set. They're technically set up for multicam. You won't have any problems doing multicam. I don't want you guys to go shoot because I don't want. I don't. I don't have the patience right now or the time to fix your production for multicam. Which means though, afterwards, go nuts. Do whatever you want. I want you. Yeah, if you do an extra multicam project, that's all extra credit anyways.
Okay.
Doing
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. So you got 8 more minutes?
Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta wait.
Oh,
It's here. I could leave.
right. Hold up. That's right.
Let's get your files.
Yeah.
You guys got any questions on multicam? Anything at all?
No.
Right now, clear as mud. I know. Right now, it's like, well, it makes sense right now.
Right.
Now let me try it. Right. Let me do the setup and then.
Say bye.